Welcome to Turtle WoW News with Vrograg. I'm your news anchor orc, Vrograg Fishslayer, here to bring you all the server news for the week of January 23rd, 2024. I am broadcasting from my new state-of-the-art studio, which is just a magenta palette swap of the Gnomer dungeon. Thank you to all the gnomes who graciously allowed me to use an abandoned tunnel in the irradiated scrap heap here. I hope you all enjoy the editing options this will now allow for me in the future. Today we'll be going in depth on some impactful changes on the changelog, checking the auction house with MarketWatch, and running a few ads for some exciting events coming up this week. So let's get to it. I'm the orc and here's the news. Our top story involves a notorious shield that was allowing some crazy ZG croc farms to happen. Last week, the second note from the changelog was about a shield known as the Barnacle Targe. Now, at first glance, it doesn't seem to be anything too special. For a level 5 shield, adding 1 nature damage to opponents who hit the wielder seems in line with gear of that level. Now, what if I told you that that shield scaled 1-to-1 with spell power? That means a paladin with a modest amount of spell damage gear and enough armor and cooldowns to protect themselves could clear crocodile packs in ZG in a matter of minutes and perhaps even seconds. This of course may explain why as of late the Zandalar Index, a balanced average of all ZG coins and bijous, has been on a steady downward trend in the last month. While ZG crocodile farming remains a sore point for mages who were recently muscled out of the farm by a charge attack added to them months ago, this seemingly insignificant changelog note was part of a much larger evolving story about the team's stance on characters soloing raid content and the players that want to farm them anyway. Make sure to let us know how you feel about this change to the shield and croc farming in general. While we're on the topic of solo raid content, the first changelog note from last week's mentions that lower Karazhan bosses can no longer be kited, and now have leash limits. On its face, the idea of soloing Karazhan bosses with clever kiting tricks does seem strange, but as demonstrated in a video provided by Breath of Wing on the Turtle WoW GitHub bug tracker, an all too clever player found a way to do just that. While it's unclear how this may have affected the markets, no doubt the team's reaction to shut down this kind of pathing exploits stands as a continuing example of the team striving to make raid content difficult and engaging rather than an open market for farmers to ply their trade and increased inflation issues. And to round out top stories, one of the headline changelog pieces was a new change coming to Alterac Valley. Players who are in the wintry battleground and do not engage in combat for 5 minutes will get a stacking debuff. If the player gets 3 stacks of this debuff, they will be removed from the battleground. The aim of this change is clear: players in a battleground showing up to do anything but battle. See, Alterac Valley is as rich with PvP as it is resources, including rich thorium veins, ice cap, and mountain silver sage. With the overworld farming making herbs ever tighter to find in an uninstanced area, there has been an increasing reliance on Alterac Valley to be a source for these necessary herbs. This of course means players show up with little to no intent to fight, which ruins the experience for PvPers no doubt. While this is a healthy change to encourage Alterac Valley to be a battleground and not a farm, it may have increased the scarcity of these desperately needed herbs for the various consumes that raiders desire and sometimes downright need to clear content. Let's hope the Turtle team has something in the works to help the growing scarcity and price of these herbs in the near term. Make sure to let us know what you think about this modification to the Alterac Valley system in the comments below. That's it for top stories. Now let's go to MarketWatch for the news from the auction house. Welcome to MarketWatch, where I pretend to be Alan Greenspan and explain the economy, even though all I have are charts. Last week was more of a moment for me to speak out on inflating consumable prices, but this week we'll stick more to the script. On to the indexes. We'll start with some Telebim numbers. Whenever a chart is shown, the Alliance one is revealed first and then the Horde counterpart. Here are both the Alliance and the Horde SNV 200s. Alliance is showing market growth, while the Horde has remained slightly down despite the Phase 2 announcement. While the general S&V 200 is lower for the Horde, both auction houses are showing similar trend lines in their herbalism indexes. Strangely enough though, Alliance's rise seems to be led by Plague Bloom, whereas on the Horde it didn't grow very much. Meanwhile, Blindweed for the Alliance had just one big buying frenzy, while on the Horde side it seemed to be their reason for the herbalism index growth at all. One thing both split auction houses can agree on though is the appreciation of arcane crystals, both growing from 12 gold to 16 gold in a month. Now to Nordinar. Once more, the general S&V 200 continues to lose value, down 11% this month. However, as shown by this herbalism index, not all market sectors are losing value. Black Lotus is up 33% with the heavy raider demand. Plague Bloom is up 23% and is showing no signs of slowing down despite efforts to increase supply. And as previously revealed in the AV discussion, Mountain Silver Sage is up a staggering 42% this month alone, with Ice Cap close behind with 33%. Hopefully something can break this cycle of unchecked inflation on necessary raid reagents. At least Elemental Earth is starting to come down and Stone Scale Eel's rise in price is starting to falter. In market anomalies, the leather index seemed mostly stable, but for a hard spike around the 10th of January, the cause for which is even more peculiar. Primal Tiger leather has a big buyout around that time, despite not being used for much. Warbear leather likewise jumped 1700% in price around the same time, and completing the trio of leather buyouts was Worn Dragon Scales, jumping 600% in value. I'm not sure why there was such a leather craze specifically on those days, but it's a reminder to all of you to watch the auction house for your chance at fabulous riches. That's all the time we have for Market Watch. Remember to keep an eye on your coin or someone else will for you. Back to the news. Before we jump into the Changelog Roundup, I wanted to bring some attention to some exciting things happening on Turtle WoW's servers that deserve a little extra spotlight. First up is the exciting announcement of a first-of-its-kind PvP contest happening in Hillsbrad over on the Telebim server. Thol's South Shore vs Terran Mill World PvP event. It will be a contest of the finest PvPers putting it all on the line for honor and maybe a little gold to boot. While the World PvP in Hillsbrad is infamous for its fun, this seeks to put a little more structure on the contest, involving a VIP in the middle of both Terran Mill and South Shore that either side needs to press to kill. If you're interested in fighting or just watching the spectacle of war, make sure to check out the event channel on the main Discord to sign up and check the rules. It sounds like it'll be one for the ages. If you're not quite battle ready for the high level PvP over at the event, then maybe you'd like a nice leveling guild on Telebim. It just so happens that a friend of the program, Alarian, in the Traveler Guild, no relation to the Nordinar Guild, is open for Alliance levelers. Bregan, their guild leader, said, "The more people don't walk alone, the better." This new Traveler Guild has hundreds of players on their roster, and the concept of leveling together is a sweet community building block. If you're interested in not walking alone, make sure to look them up, because leveling alone on a PvP server can be very dangerous. Over on Nordinar, out of the way, orc boy. Camera woman Obamsawin Tallgrass reporting. The news channel just found out, just this last weekend, a raid team led by and completely comprised of women had their first successful Lower Karazhan run by a group from the guild Nerds of a Feather. The experience was great fun for all of those involved, and anytime a community effort works to empower the people on the server, they always get a shout out from me. If any women are interested in participating, the lady-led effort may still have spots open. Maybe you are tired of raiding with the boys club. Maybe a little embarrassed that your voice is too low for voice chat. Maybe you just want a little something different from your raids, something more inclusive. Well, if that's you, then contact Emic from Nerds of a Feather to see if there is space for you as well. Thanks, Obamsawin. I forgot how heavy the camera was. Anyway, also happening this weekend will be Vrograg's Zul'Gurub Safari. I have been to Zul'Gurub dozens of times, maybe hundreds. And you know what I've never seen? The inside of the pyramid. I didn't even know there was an inside of the pyramid until recently. It's been so long since I've seen the tiger area, I don't even know what it looks like anymore. I know for a fact I've never cleared the village before Mandakir. I'm tired of these quick ZG runs. I want to explore everything in this voodoo-cursed jungle temple. And hey, if we all come out with a few extra bijous, then I think we're all winners. So this weekend, I won't be doing a fish and chat, but more of a raid and fish, where me and a team of crack ZG experts will clear out the whole raid and take a look around like anthropologists, seeing what we can see and learning of the true mysteries of Zul'Gurub. And when we're done, we'll fish up some rare mud skunks. So drop by to watch. And if I'm short on people, maybe I'll bring you along too. See you at the safari. Let's take a look at the changelog from January 16th and see what new things were fixed with another rapid-fire changelog roundup. This changelog included 48 points in total, so here are some of the highlights we didn't already cover. The Idol of Emerald Rot will no longer reset combo points to the poor struggling cats of Azeroth. The ever-enigmatic error message that would show up as a server announcement is now gone. Rest in peace. The Goblin brainwashing device will now stay out for 5 minutes, not 2 minutes, to align with the tooltip. Blackstone Island and Alathalas will now have fishing in their waters available for beginning fishers. The Spirit Healer near Mudsprocket will now act as an effective graveyard for Horde characters. The mobs on the newly added Forlorn Summit will now be able to drop the corresponding Scourge Stones when the Argent Dawn trinket is equipped. The following weapons have had their proc per minute rates corrected: Flurry Axe, Bashgooder, Dark Edge of Insanity, and Sulphurous Hand of Ragnaros. Snapjaw eggs that can sometimes rarely drop as pets are now unique. The Drape of Nordrassil can now be enchanted. Spicy Beef Burrito will no longer put all food into a 1-minute cooldown. Warrior's Manual of Intervene will now properly be used when the ability is learned. The Ogre Warbeads required for the 0.5 tier set quest chain have had their drop rates inside Dire Maul increased to 25%. Even though I had to kill 254 for my quest, I'm not bitter. And finally, there is now a daily bounty put out on the head for the players from the opposing faction that have had the most honorable kills and dishonorable kills. That concludes the changelog roundup. A new changelog is soon to be released, so make sure to keep an eye out on the forums to see what new bugs were fixed. Well, that is all the time we have for the news today. I'd like to thank you all for taking time to watch the news program. I hope you found the information useful. Make sure to drop by to catch the fun run of ZG this weekend. I hope it'll be an entertaining watch. This week, I reported on a lot of the community efforts. Turtle WoW has so much to offer, and I am pleased to see so many folk step up and make it even better. If you like this content and want more, make sure to like and subscribe. My comments, DMs, and emails are always open for feedback and constructive criticism. It's about time for me to head out. The magenta paint is starting to fade. Let me know what you thought of the new studio as well. I hope to see you all next time. Whatever you're doing, make sure to have fun, be safe, and as always remember, the deadliest weapon is knowledge.